What's happening? What's going on?
You look like you need a hug, but you're not gonna get one from me. Better get lost.
Eyes up, Demon Hunter. Humanity is under attack and there are countless demons to slay. Thankfully, the Earth has 3 defenders this time around, and they know more than enough ways to kick their asses. Here is why I love Devil May Cry 5. Devil May Cry 5 is Capcom's latest addition to the action-adventure hack-and-slash series, bringing back some classic demon-slaying characters, along with introducing some new faces to the squad of badasses. I've never been huge into the Devil May Cry series, but there was something about this game that really caught my attention. Maybe it just found me at the right time, or maybe I haven't given the series the recognition it deserves. What I think really sold me is the unexpected amount of variety in the gameplay, as well as the unabashed sense of style that permeates every inch of this game. At the core of DMC 5 is taking things that have absolutely no right being cool and making them really fucking cool.
You know I got you covered, asshole.
This time around, you get to play as 3 characters: Nero, the newcomer V, and the original Demon Hunter himself, Dante. Each with a vastly different playstyle and a surprising amount of depth within those playstyles. The narrative itself isn't anything to write home about, but it facilitates the action and allows for some standout set pieces. You open up the game as Nero, returning from DMC 4 with his unmistakable, revable sword, Red Queen. In case you haven't played as Nero in previous installments, you heard me correctly. You can rev his sword like a motorcycle engine, which makes it more powerful. On paper, it might sound dumb, but in action, it's cool as hell, which could honestly be the tagline for the whole game. He also has his trusty hand cannon Blue Demon, and new to his arsenal is his robotic arm built by his companion Nico, which she likes to call Devil Breakers. Nero has the most straightforward playstyle of the 3, in that he has his sword attacks, he has his gun attacks, but where Nero's depth comes in is with his Devil Breakers. Throughout the game, you will encounter several different types of Devil Breakers. Some breakers give an electrical burst, some launch a rocket punch, some even power up your weapons. This mechanic allows you to mix things up with Nero, even if just slightly. If you've ever played a hack and slash game before, you'll likely be able to pick up how Nero handles pretty quickly. As I mentioned, you open up the game playing the first several missions, revving your way through Demon Guts as Nero, and right as you start to get comfortable, the game throws you a welcome curveball in the form of the skinny emo warrior my 13-year-old self always wanted to be, V. V is quite a bit of a mystery throughout the game, and at first, I wasn't sure whether or not I was going to like playing as him. He's a much more solemn character overall, and V's fighting style requires him to hang back, while 2 creatures he controls do the battling for him, with him going in for the killing blow. My initial thought was, this is kind of lame. He's not going to get in there and fight these demons himself, but the more and more I got to play as him, the more I felt like the badass Beastmaster that V is intended to be. It is surprisingly satisfying to command your creatures using their unique and punishing moves, deciding which one you're going to power up using your DT meter, and sneaking in as V to get that final killing blow with his cane. His style of combat focuses on protecting V by keeping his pets in between him and the enemies. You can also replenish your DT meter by reading poetry during battle. And again, I know that sounds stupid, but there are few games which make me feel as formidable as I do with V when he reads his poetry while his pets are tearing shit up. I think it's safe to say that V is my favorite character to play as. The legend himself, Dante, is the last character that we get to slay demons with, and pushes you to learn an additional playstyle to mix things up from what you already know. He starts off with a familiar moveset and some classic weapons, but as you start to progress through his missions, you start to acquire several more weapons along the way. You have many different options to choose from as Dante by switching up his melee weapons and his firearms. You can even further change up what stance he assumes, using the D-pad to alter his playstyle even further. There are an abundance of options when playing as Dante. With how simple it is for you to swap between them, his style of combat puts a heavy emphasis on switching on the fly. You can start a fight using his sword and trademark pistols, Ebony and Ivory, and swap to using the Balrog and shotgun, or his motorcycle weapon, Cavalier, and the dual rocket launchers, or his elemental nunchucks and magic cowboy hat, Dr. Faust. Yes, they get more ridiculous as they go, but they absolutely fit with Dante's flippant and flamboyant personality, and within the game as a whole, no question. Fighting through seamlessly endless demon soldiers could easily be a slog, but it's hard not to have a good time when you look this awesome. And each weapon has its quirks. For example, the Balrog has 2 modes, one for dealing quick damage with punches, and another for dealing more powerful strikes with kicks. Both require you to get up close and personal. The Cavalier is good at dealing prolonged damage, as the motorcycle tires will continue to spin after landing a hit to keep chipping away at health. Dr. Faust creates a risk-reward system that utilizes the red orbs you collect to spend on upgrades as projectiles to deal heavy damage. You can often collect more orbs than you expend, but be mindful that you aren't shooting away your next upgrade. Additionally, you can switch up Dante's style, offering up new moves and abilities when in combat. You can use Royal Guard to block moves and charge up a special attack, the Trickster style to better dodge oncoming enemies, the Gunslinger style to use new gun moves and fire more powerful shots, and the Swordmaster style to add some powerful moves to each melee weapon you wield. You can use any weapon or style in any situation, but you might notice that certain playstyles are better against certain enemies. Later missions will throw many different combinations of demons at you, which will push you to make swaps mid-fight. All of this can be very overwhelming at first, but when you start to nail the flow and balance of his playstyles, you will see why Dante is referred to as the strongest demon slayer. There are so many different ways to kill demons in this game, and each one is truly as gratifying as the last. The depth in combat that exists for each playable character is not something that I anticipated when I picked this game up. And that's really what kept me playing. To see what new moves I could mix in, or to see what kind of combos I could string together. And of course, to see if I could beat this level again, but this time, do it in a cooler, more brandish fashion, befitting these larger-than-life characters. This game sets out to make you feel like a badass, and it succeeds by giving you the tools to choreograph the most violent and graceful fight scene you've ever witnessed. What are your thoughts on Devil May Cry 5, or the series as a whole? Who's your favorite character? Let me know in the comments below, and thank you for watching.